I recently painted this for my boyfriend who moved away for school. I wanted him to have a little window of home on his wall because I knew he'd be homesick. But here's the thing, it got me to thinking how your reference photo almost never matches your actual painting style. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how I transformed a sentimental backyard photo into a painting that feels like me, not just something that I copied. The canvas is dried to the touch, so I'm going to do the first coat and maybe the only coat of fluorescent red. I was debating doing neon orange, but I think fluorescent red is the way to go for this one, at least for the painting that he was showing me that he liked a lot. He thought I could use for an inspiration. At this point, my canvas is gessoed and primed. You can see me kind of loafing around, but actually what I'm doing is pausing a video that I have and cropping into it to get this exact photo. Then I set up my projector so I could get the main shapes down accurately. I like using a projector because it gives me a clean starting point, and from there I can take as many artistic liberties as I want. So I just want to do a brief check-in right now. It is Wednesday. My boyfriend moves on Sunday, and obviously I'm not going to have this finished by Sunday. I have a lot of stuff I need to do on it, and we're kind of a little bit inseparable right now. He's kind of saying his goodbyes really quick before he has to leave, and so this painting will be done probably a short time after he moves. The reference that I'm using is literally my boyfriend's backyard. It's a picture of the goat pens that he and his brother built when they were little kids growing up at this property. While I was making it, I thought the sentimental value was going to be him being able to look out into this window of this backyard, and it was going to be this special moment. But it actually ended up turning into an even more special moment because while I was painting this, his dog, who I grew really close with during this year that we've been dating, would sit with me and put his head on my lap and be very affectionate with me while I was painting. He just always loved it, and he was my little painting assistant. His name is Sarge. Right before I finished the painting, we actually had to put him down. When I would be painting, his hair would get like stuck in the paint, and so I told my boyfriend, I was like, this is more than just your home. It's also got your special little guy who volunteered some of his hair to texturize this paint for you. Uh-huh. Got a really good setup there for roommates. I started painting and immediately ran into my biggest problem. I used this bright fluorescent red underpainting, which looked super cool, and I wanted it to peek through the corners of every paint stroke that I did, but it completely wrecked my ability to read values, and everything looked wrong. This is one of those moments where the reference can't save you. You have to rely on fundamentals, and for me that meant restarting the entire value structure and just doing a grisaille. And essentially what a grisaille is a grayscale underpainting. You do everything monochromatic, right? It's all gray. You're doing the correct values only. You're not worrying about whether the color's right or wrong, just only getting the value correct, painting that area. And then later we're going to come back with a colorful glaze over the top to get the colors right. This is my first time doing a painting like this, but you do end up having to layer quite a bit if you're an acrylic painter anyway. It's not like it was a gigantic misstep, but I should have known better because I remember my professor telling me this is a problem you can run into if you have something like red, which is a mid-tone and is very warm. It's hard to read what your value and what your color should be. My camera just fell in that. So officially, I've got most of the canvas covered, and you're probably like, what the hell is going on? Actually, I think this looks very cool as it is. I mean, obviously there needs to be more variation and there needs to be more detail and stuff. So darks, lights, then we'll start working on color, and then we'll get into the finishing stage. And I started sampling the colors from the grayscale image to let me know, hey, what am I looking at? Like this palm tree right here. This is actually way too dark. It actually is the same value that these wood planks right here in the light are going to be. I know going forward when it's time to correct this, the value that I'm going to need for it is actually a lot lighter than I'm thinking. Now you're going to see me adding in the darks, and they're going to go on looking light, but remember that acrylics dry down dark. I probably said that so many times in this video. It's really important to keep in mind. You're going to notice how much that makes the painting pop, and all I did was add in the darks. And it creates so much depth because there's already all kinds of midtones in this painting. And mostly it's because the reference has a lot of midtones. And it's a good reminder that your reference is a starting point and not a rule book. So you're going to have to make decisions about what's best for your painting. If it's not reading with depth and it's a very flat looking painting, you're gonna need to assess your values. So even though the reference was very stuck in midtones, I had to kind of drag it out of that. And another point to your reference being a starting point is you're going to see the gate on the left hand side eventually disappears as we go through the progress shots here. My boyfriend did not really like it how it was coming out, and I didn't either, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb. The final day of painting on it, I actually ended up blacking it out and then making some bushes over the top of it that you'll see in the top down shot. Because I was caretaking for my boyfriend's dog during the last few days of his life, I really didn't get any progress shots of the color layers that I did on here. I was rushing to get it done for my boyfriend, who was very excited to take it home. So I consider it an unfinished painting. I need to fix those trees in the background. And I needed to get it away from me and not see it for a while to figure out just how to fix those trees. Since it's my boyfriend's, I can do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful for you. And if it is, and you want to see more of my stuff and more of my journey learning as an artist, then go ahead and subscribe.